In my long career as an IBS specialist, I have been continuously fascinated by how common and how much impact Candida can have on the digestive system, and how slow the general medical community has been to recognize its significance. There are many reasons for this, so let's find out why that is. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Wangen, the founder and medical director of the IBS Treatment Center. I've spent a lot of time over the last 25 years learning about and studying the effects of Candida on the digestive system, as well as the rest of the body, and I've learned a few things and continue to be surprised and amazed by the impact that this unique organism has on us. Candida is a yeast, or a fungus, or you can even call it a mold. Whatever you call it, it's a type of microorganism, which is a microbe that is distinctive from bacteria. So everyone has heard of bacteria, but not everyone is as familiar with Candida. Candida and bacteria are similar in that they're both microscopic and can cause lots of problems, but they are also very different in how they behave. Candida are very common, as are bacteria, of course. They are everywhere in our environment, but that doesn't mean that they are common in our digestive tract, or at least not in large, significant amounts. However, in my practice, Candida is one of the most common problems that I run across. And yet most other doctors say that either that it's normal to have Candida, or that it really isn't a problem, or that the problem doesn't even exist at all. So how do I know that it's such a big problem? Well, mainly because when we treat those patients for Candida, they get better. So why don't most doctors believe in or understand the significance of a Candida overgrowth in the digestive system? Well, for one, their medical training doesn't cover it. So I had to learn most of what I know about Candida through experience, not in medical school. Now, secondly, it's just really difficult to test for. Candida loves to hide, and it's not easy to pick up on tests. And sometimes we even have to rely mostly on your history and your symptoms in order to figure out whether or not you have it. So let me give you an example that you may be able to relate to, understand. You may have heard of oral thrush. So oral thrush is when you have a white coating on your tongue, and this white coating is usually Candida, which is of course in the mouth. But in order to test for it, you can't just take a swab and swab your tongue and put it on a petri dish and send it off to the lab for diagnosis. You have to literally scrape the tongue to get an accurate sample. Otherwise, it just doesn't show up. So that might give you some idea about how difficult it is to test for, even when it's super obvious and you can see it in the mouth. So most doctors, even when they can see it, treat it under the assumption that it's there, not based on lab work. So as an aside, I'd like to remind you too that the mouth is the gateway to the rest of your digestive system. So if you've got Candida in your mouth, then you usually have it further down. And it can be in your esophagus, in your stomach, in your small intestine, in your large intestine. Because what? You've been swallowing it. If it's in your mouth, it's gonna go down, right? So although you don't have to have it in your mouth in order to have it lower in your digestive tract. So I'm not saying you have to have thrush to have Candida problems lower down. Now, another challenge with understanding the significance of Candida is that you have to use unique medications or treatments in order to treat it. It doesn't respond to the kinds of antibiotics that you use for bacteria. And even when you do have the proper treatment, it's still challenging and tricky to treat. It doesn't go away super easily. You can't just treat it for a few days and be done. It's way more complicated than that. So taking all of these things into account, it's been very difficult for the medical system as a whole to really develop a clear appreciation for Candida overgrowths in the digestive tract. And ironically, the anecdotal information that you often find on the internet about Candida overgrowth, it's often correct, and it's generally way ahead of the medical system. And I can't say that about a lot of things, but In this case, it's usually true. So don't despair if your doctor just poo-poos the idea that you might have Candida overgrowth, or you can't seem to get a lot of medical doctors, a lot of backing where they go, oh yeah, that's totally legit, because they just simply don't understand it. And you'll need to see someone who has a lot of experience with it, and hopefully someone who's had a lot of success treating it. And I realize that left a lot of questions unanswered, right? Because in this video, I just wanted to give you a sense of why Candida in the digestive system is such a challenging topic for the whole medical system. Now look for my other videos on things like the symptoms of Candida and how to test for Candida and how to treat Candida, and this issue called the Candida die-off problem, which is a whole nother interesting world, and things like brain fog, and why we are so susceptible to Candida. I have videos on all of those topics. Thank you for listening. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more interesting tidbits on how to improve your health.